Hello everyone, welcome to the Mercury Virtual. Hope you are doing good. Today I am going to continue the same module, that is website design, that is HTML tutorial. In the last class we have talked about the chapter number 2, that is what are the HTML basics tags that is available within the HTML. Now I'm going to start with a new chapter into today's class, that is chapter number 3, that is what are the various HTML element, that is what are the various attribute that is used with the tags, that is the HTML element, that is chapter number 3, that is the HTML element. So let's start with the previous class session, that is chapter number 2, that is the HTML basics tags, then move to the chapter number 3, that is the HTML elements. So let's start with the previous class session, that is chapter number 2, that is HTML basics tags. In this we have studied about the basics tag, that what are the basics tags that is available within the HTML. So let's start with the first tag that we have discussed, that is the heading tag. So if I want to display a heading within the HTML within the browser window of the HTML, so we use the tag that is a H1 to H6. So there are 6 levels of heading that is available within the HTML, that is from H1 to the H6, that is a H1, then H2, then H3, then H4, then H5, then H6. There are 6 levels of heading, and the one H1 is one of the, we can say, the topest or one of the largest font style that is available within the HTML. So H1 means the largest heading that is available. Then H2, slightly slow, we can say the decreased font. Then H3, then H4, H5, H6, and the H. Sorry, there are total S6 only. So last one is the H6, right? So heading tag will explain, or heading tag will display the output from the level of heading, that is from the H1 to the H6. So the first level of heading is the H1, then H2, then H3, then H4, and the H5, and the H6. So there are 6 levels of heading, H1 being the largest heading and H6 being the smallest heading. So this is available over here, that is the H1, H2, that is H1, H2, H3 till H6. And while displaying any heading, browser adds one line before and one line after that heading. That is automatically one line is added before the text or before the line, and one line is added after the line, that is also available within the heading tag. So this is the output that is displayed. There are 6 levels of heading, that is from the H1, H2, H3, H4, and the H5, and the H6. So there are 6 levels of heading that is used within the HTML. And this will produce the following result. This is heading 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6. Now next tag that is used is the paragraph tag. That is, the paragraph tag is used to write a paragraph, that is p tag is used to write the paragraph. Suppose I want to write the paragraph in the browser window in the website designing, so that is done by the p tag. So p tags offers a way of structure or way to structure your text into different paragraphs. And each paragraph or the text should go in between opening and the closing p. So there should be opening and the closing p, and there is no mandation of closing the p, but there is a rule that is close the p that is used within the paragraph. That is a p tag that is used within the paragraph, shows the example, that is a p tag that is used within that example, that is used as a paragraph tag. This is one of the example that is used within the p tag. So this is a paragraph tag that is used to write the paragraph. So that is a P that is used for the paragraph. So this contains the 4 paragraphs. This contain Lily. This contains the 4 paragraph, that is P P P P. So there are 4 paragraphs over here. One is here is the first paragraph of text. Then here is the second paragraph text. Then third paragraph text. So there are 3 paragraphs that is used within the P tag. That is used with the P tag. So there are 3 paragraphs that is displayed on the browser window. That is a paragraph 1, 2, 3. And this will produce the following result. This is the output of this one, that is a paragraph. This is the paragraph of text, first paragraph, second paragraph, and the third paragraph. Next is the line break tag, that is a BR tag that is used to break the line, that is a line break tag. So this tag is used to break the line. For example, I want to move from one line to the another line, that is done by the BR tag, that is moving from one line to the another, that is a BR tag that will be used in the paragraph, within the sim terms, within the lines, that is used to break the line, simple terms that is used to break, that is moved to the next line. That is a BR tag. and anything that following it starts from the next line. And this tag is an important empty tag because there is no need to close the opening and the closing tags, and there is nothing to go in between. So there is no mandation to close the tags, but only the opening tag is required, that is a line break tag. And the BR tag has a space between the characters BR and the forward slash. And if you omit this space, older browsers will have a trouble rendering the line break, while if you miss the forward slash character and just use BR, it is not valid in the XHTML. So it is not valid in the XHTML that is used for the browser window. That is also not valid in the extensible markup language, that is the XHTML, and the BR is used within the HTML. If I want to use the forward slash, that is must be mandatory in the XHTML, but when we use only the HTML, only the BR tag, that is valid for the HTML. This is one of the example, that is a doc type HTML head title line break example. So this is the title that is given in the title bar, that is a line break example. Then the head will be closed, body will be starting, then there will be p hello. That means a paragraph will be used and the BR tag will be used after the hello, that is for the line break. Then again use one paragraph or one line, that is you believe or you deliver your assignment on the time, and then BR tag, again use BR tag, then thanks, then manners, then P will be closed. That is within the paragraph there are 4 lines, and if I disconnect these BRs, that means all the paragraphs are clubbed together. And when we use the BR tag, that means forwarding to the next line, that is moving from the one line to the next line, that is jumping from the one line to the next line, that is done by the BR tag. Second last point is the body tag, then the HTML tag. So this is the example that is used within the HTML, that is used with the BR tag. And when we use the forward slash with the BR tag, that is only valid for the XHTML, not with the HTML. And this will produce the following result, that is hello, you delivered your assignment on time, then thanks, and the manners. The next tag is centering the content that we have studied, that is how to center the content within the HTML. It is done by only using the center tag. So when we use only the center tag, that is CENTER, that makes the content as in the center, that is a center tag. So this is the doc type HTML. Then there will be a HTML, then there will be a head, then title, that is centering the content example. This is the title that is given, that is centering the content example. Then the head will be closed, then the body will be open, then the P tag is used for writing the paragraph, that is this text is not in the center. So this is used in the center, that is by default the paragraph alignment is the left. Now if I want to move the content in the center, that is done by the center tag, that is done by the center, CENTER. Then use the P tag, that is for writing the paragraph in the center, then P will be closed and the center will be closed. So this is one of the example, that is very good example, that is used for the center. Now suppose when we use the center tag, suppose again I am using the center tag. Suppose let's again use the center tag. So this is a center tag example. If I want to open it in the HTML, that is to see the coding. Now instead of center, if I use right, now let's see what's an impact. If I press Ctrl S, now if I want to execute, then double click on it, it will open in the new browser like this one. Now this looks like that. This text is not in the center. I'm also change this is now if I delete all these things. So this is the text that is not in the center. This text is in the right. Now let's see if it is works or not. This text is in the left, not the right. So there is no we can say the tag that is available for doing the right. So by default it is available in the left, and we can change it to the center, not to the right. Remember, all right. This is one of the main concern, that is a hit and try method, that is whether the content is available in the right or not. It is available in the left, it is available in the center, but it is not available in the right. And this will produce the output like this one, what we have covered in the last class. Then the next tag is the HR tag, that is a horizontal line tag that makes or that we can say that brings the line horizontally within the spaces or within the lines. So suppose I want to give a line or give a line between the two lines or between two text of the lines, that will display it by using the HR tag, that is the HR. So that is the horizontal lines that are usually used to, or that are used to visually break up the sections of a document. And the HR tag creates a line from the current position in the document to the right margin and breaks the line accordingly. So it will break the line accordingly, that is used with the HR tag. So HR tag is used to break the line, and it will put the line, horizontal line, that is a dark color line, that will be available within the HTML. For example, you may want to give a line between two paragraphs as shown in the given example below. This is one of the example of the HR tag. This is the HTML, then there will be head, then title, then horizontal line example, then the title will be closed, then head will be closed, then the body, then the P will be opened. This is a paragraph 1 and should be on the top. That is the paragraph 1 that should be available on the top. Then the P will be closed, and there will be a line that is available within the with the use of the HR tag. So HR tag is again used, and the backward slash is mandatory in the XHTML but not mandatory in the HTML. That is the HR, and then again the P, that is a paragraph 2 and should be at the bottom. That is again displayed with the help of another P. Then the body will be closed and the HTML will be closed. So this is a paragraph 1 and should be on the top. This is paragraph 2 and should be at the bottom. And again HR tag is an example of the empty element, that is an empty element. So there is no need to close the HR tag, and it is also not to use the forward slash that is used because it is more required in the XHTML. So if I want to use only HR tag in the HTML, that will be used. Now next is the preserve formatting, that is a PRE tag that is also used, that is a pre-formatted tag, that is known as the preserve formatting tags or preserve formatting tag. So sometimes you need your, or you want your text to follow the exact format of how it is written in the HTML document. In those cases you can use the perform, or you can use the pre-formatted text, that is the PRE tags. PRE tag, that is a pre-formatted text tag. Any text between the opening and the closing PRE tag will preserve the formatting of the source document. So whatever the text, whatever the scenario that is used within the pre tag, that is used within the opening and the closing tag, that is a pre tag. Whatever syntax, whatever space, whatever requirement that is used. Also any text is right, or any text is available between the opening tag and the closing tag, that is a PRE tag. So that will preserve the same formatting that we give in the HTML. This is the same formatting that will be used. If curly brace is available over here, it will available over here. It is available in the next line, it is available in the next line. It is available, closing curly brace available in the next line, it is available in the next line. So whatever the criteria, whatever the content that you are giving, that will display the same. And if I want to give it in the next line, that will we have done in the last class, hit and try. Then next is the non-breaking spaces, that is if I want to give the non-breaking spaces, that is there is no break in between the spaces, that is the non-breaking spaces, that is done by the ampersand NBSP, that is the non-breaking spaces. So suppose you want to use the phrases, that is the 12 angry men, and have you would not want the browser to split the 12 angry men into multiple parts, that is done by the, if I want to split into the multiple part, that is done by the ampersand NBSP for giving a 1 pixel gap, that is the ampersand NBSP and the semicolon instead of the normal space. This is one of the example that is given by using the NBSP. This is the HTML, then head, then title. In a title it is given, that is a non-breaking space example, then the head will be closed, then the body will be starting, then the P tag will be used, that is an example of this technique appear in the movie, that is the 12, then there will be a space, NBSP semicolon, then angry, then again NBSP semicolon men. So this is a 12 angry men story that is available, that is the example. Then the body will be closed, HTML will be closed. This is what we have covered in the last class. Now today's chapter is the chapter number 3, that is HTML elements. So till now we have studied about the tags. Now within that tags, how to use the HTML element, that is the chapter number 3. So let's start with the today's session, that is chapter number 3, that is the HTML elements. So now let's start with the chapter number 3, that is the HTML elements. So now what are the various HTML element that is used within the tags to give the more presentable text, to give the more presentable website design or the website outlook, that is HTML, that is done by the HTML elements. So HTML elements is defined by the starting tag, that is it is used within the starting tag, and if the element contains other content, it ends with the closing tag. That is it may be used within the opening tag, that is the starting tag. It may be used within the closing tag, that is also used with the closing tag, where the element name is preceded by the forward slash as shown below the below tags, as shown below the with the few tags. So these are the various tags that is used with the start tag. These are the various element that is used with the closing tag. So there is a start tag, then content, then there will be an end tag. There will be a start tag, that is a P, and the content is this is the paragraph content, and the P tag will be closed. So let's start again the session. Now Joseph has arrived. I'm waiting for the students arrive so that I can continue the session. So these are the various element, that is the HTML element that is available, that is used within the HTML tags. So if the element contains a content, it ends with the closing tag, where the element name is preceded by the forward slash. So it may be used within the opening tag, it may be used within the closing tag. This is the paragraph content that is available. Then H1, this is the heading content. Then this is the division content, that is how to divide the content, and the div will be closed. Then the br tag will be used for breaking the content. Now so here P is a HTML element, H1 is another HTML element, and there are some elements which did not be closed, such as the image, HR, and the br element. So there is no requirement for closing the HTML element. There is no requirement for closing the tag, that is there are multiple tags, that is there is no requirement like img, like HR, and the br tag. These are known as the void elements or the void tags. So these are known as the void element, in which there is no mandation, or there is no, we can say, the hard and fast rule to close the tags. HTML document consists of a trees of the these elements, and they specify how HTML document should be built and what kind of content should be placed in which part of HTML document, that is which part contain which document, what are the various document that is available within the HTML, right? So next is the HTML tag versus the element, that is what is the difference between the HTML tags, what is the difference between the HTML elements. So HTML elements is defined by a starting tag, and if the element contains the other content, it ends with the closing tag. So it may be class it contains the starting tag as well as the closing tag. So it is defined by the starting tag, and the element contains the other content, that is ends with the closing tag. For example, P, that is a starting tag of a paragraph, and closing P is the closing tag of the same paragraph, but P, that is a paragraph, is a paragraph element. That is a paragraph element. This is a starting tag, this is a closing tag, but this is a paragraph, is a paragraph element. Now next is the nested HTML element, that is how to use the elements within the element, that is a nested elements, a nested HTML element, like we have studied the nested looping. In the same way, there will be a nested element, nested HTML element, that is one element within the another element. Now it is very much allowed to keep one HTML element inside another HTML element, that is how to use. So this is the example, that is HTML, then there will be a head, then title. Now in a title that is available, that is a nested element example. So it is available within the title, that is a nested elements example. So what is displayed in the title bar, that is a nested elements example. Then there will be a head, that is a closing of the head. Then the body will be starting, that the body loop will be, or body tag will be starting. Then there will be a h1, that is a heading 1, that it will display with a large font, that is the h1 tag, and this is I. Now this is very important. Within the h1 we use another tag, that is the I, for making the italic. That is a nested HTML element. That is how one tag, one element is used within the another element of the tag. That is the h1, that is the I, then the I will be closed, then heading, then the h1 will be closed. So this is the h1, that is this is then I, that is the italic, then the I will be closed, then the heading, then the h1 will be closed. So this is h1, that is starting, then this is a word that is written, italic, I, and the heading, then there will be a closing of h1. then the P will be used, that is this is U underline, that is underlined word will be underlined, italic word will be italic, then there will be a paragraph, then the P will be closed and the body will be closed, HTML will be closed. So this is a nested HTML element, that is one element within the another element that is used, that is the H1, then the I, that is I used within the HTML or within the H1 tag, then U tag is used within the P tag, then the body will be closed and the HTML will be closed. Now this will play the following result, that is this is italic heading. So this is available within the H1, that is with the higher we can say the higher level of heading, a higher font. Then this is the underlined paragraph, that is a normal tag that is used with the, or that is displayed with the help of the paragraph tag. Now suppose I want to execute this code, so let's execute this code, that is a nested HTML element. Now this is the same, that is doc type HTML head title, that is the nested element example, then the title will be closed, then the head will be closed, body, then H1, then italic, then this is the continue of the this is heading, but the italic word, or this is italic heading, that is the italic word is italic, then this is U, that is underlined, that is also a paragraph, that is the underlined word is also underlined, then body will be closed and the HTML will be closed. Now suppose I want to save it, then save with the name of the nested, that is the nested.html. Save on the desktop, that is the nested.html. Now if I go to the desktop, this is a nested. Now this is available like this one, this is the title that is given, that is the nested elements example. This is the title that we have given, that is the nested element examples. Then this is the italic heading that will be available within the hashtag, that is a main tag, that is a major tag that we can use, that is a I word will be used, italic will be used for making the italic. Then this is the underlined paragraph, that is a normal text, that is a normal text that is displayed with the help of the P tag. So P tag will display the normal text, but the nested tag within the P tag is the U tag that is used for the underlining the text, and everything is available within the paragraph, that is for U, that is the underline. So underlined word will be underlined with the use of the U tag. So now this is the example of the nested, that is the one tag will be used within the another tag, like for example I tag will be used within the H1 tag, U tag will be used within the P tag. So this is used as a we can say as a nested element that will be available within the HTML, that is nested.html, nested.file, that will be used within the HTML. Now if I want to make the changes, if I delete or control X, now if I save, again go to back to this one, this is normal, this is heading, there is no italic, there is no word that is available. If I again press the control V, again control V, that means two words are available, both words are italic and both words are italic in the form, that is some slant in the form. Now if I press control S, if I press we can say the control F5, that means italic words will be used. Now if I want to use the space in between, then we use the ampersand NBSP semicolon, again one more space, that is NBSP semicolon. Now if I want to again execute, this is italic with the two gaps that is available within the HTML, that is this is italic heading. In the same way we can apply the any formatting that will be available on the underline, that is also used for the underline, right? This is an example of the nested elements. Now let's move. So this is a very small chapter that will be available within the HTML, that is the nested elements, and these are the various examples, that is the tag versus the elements. Now chapter number 4, that is the HTML attribute. That is the main chapter that we have talked about. That is without concerning the tag, there is no need to study the attribute. So first of all, the tag will be used, then the attribute will be used. So you must have a knowledge about the tag before the attribute will be used. So there will be a tag and the attribute. So chapter number 4 is the HTML attributes. So we have seen few HTML tags and their usage, like heading tags like h1, h2, paragraph tag, and the other tags. So we use the word, that is the HTML tag, and their usage like heading tag, that is the h1, h2, and the p tag, and the other tags. We use them so far in the simplest form, but most of them HTML tags, that is most of the HTML tag that is used can have some attributes which are extra bits or the information that is used for the representing the information or displaying on the web page very effectively, or we can say that give the attractive look to the web page. Whatever the web page that is designed with the use of the HTML tags, so to give the, we can say, the attractive look within the HTML document, within the HTML file, that will be given by the HTML attributes. Now remember one thing, HTML attributes are always available within the closing right angle bracket. That is a last bracket that is used within the tag, so it is available within the right angle bracket. So an attribute is used to define the characteristics of an HTML element and is placed inside the element opening tag. What I said, it is available within the inside the opening element tag. Suppose I use the P, so it will be available over here after H1. It will be over here after P. That means it is used within the closing tag, not in the opening tag, but in the closing. Not in the closing tag, but with the opening tag. So an attribute is used to define the characteristics of an HTML element and is placed inside the opening tag. All the attributes are made up of the two parts. So what are the two parts of an attribute? One is the name, one is the value. So there are two parts of an attribute. One is the name, that is the name of the attribute, for example font, or for example color, that is the attribute, and color equals to red, that is a value. So color is a type of the attribute that is used with the font tag, and the value that is given, that is a red, blue, green, whatever color that we want, that is a value. So one is the attribute that have a name, one is the value that is given to the name of the attribute. So the name is a property that you want to set. That is a name that you want to set. For example, you want to set the name as a color, COLOR. That is a name, that is a property that you wish to, that you want to set. That is a name. For example, the paragraph P is an example that carries an attribute name whose name is align. Suppose I want to align the paragraph. So that is a attribute that is used is the align. Alignment means, for example, my paragraph is in the left. I want to make the paragraph in the right. That is used with the align. That is used with the center. So if I want to make the paragraph in the center, that is used with the center alignment. So that is align equals to center, align equals to right, align equals to left. Whatever the alignment that we need or that we require, that is aligned with the use of the attribute. And what is the name of the attribute? That is the align. Now, so next line says which you can use to indicate the alignment of the paragraph on the page. Now what is the value? That is what you want the value of the property to be set. So value is what you want the value of the property to be set, and always put within the quotation. So value will be put within the quotation only, and below example shows three possible values of the align attributes for the align attribute. These are the possible values that will be available for the align attribute within the HTML. What are the three possible values of the align attribute? One is the left, one is the center, one is the right. So there are three, we can say, the align attribute that will be available, that is left, right, and center. So remember, attributes are come within the tags, and within the attribute there are two parts. One is the name, one is the type. Sorry, one is the name, one is the value. The name is the name of the attribute, for example right, and the name is the name of the attribute, for example align, and whatever the value that takes the align, that is the value. For example left, right, center, these are the various alignment that is available that comes under the value. So attribute names and the attribute values are the case sensitive. Remember, it is a case insensitive. That means there is no impact. If you give the color COLOR in a capital or in a small, there is no impact. If you give the align ALIGN in the capital or the small, there is no impact. So there is no impact on the attribute name and the attribute values. That are the case insensitive. However, the worldwide consortium, that is the W3C, recommends the lowercase attributes in their HTML4 recommendation that we have studied already. That is a recommendation in the HTML4 that you can use the lowercase letter for writing the alignment, for writing the attribute, for writing the tags. So use a lowercase letter. This is a recommendation. Either you can use the lower or the upper. There is no mandation. This is only the recommendation. This is another example. Now look this example very carefully. Well, this explains the each and every part of the attribute. So this is very essential to know you. So first is the doctype.html. Doctype HTML. That is a type of the document is the HTML. Then the HTML tag will be used. Then the head will be used. Then the title will be used. And then what is the title that is available? That is the align attribute example. The title in the title bar it is given in as a align attribute example. Then the title will be closed. Then the head will be closed. So you start with the HTML. So the first tag is the HTML. Then there will be a head. Then there will be a title, that is title align attribute example. Then the title will be closed. Then there will be a head, that is the closing of the head. Now the title will be closed, head will be closed. Then there will be a body, that is the starting of the body, that is available. Now P align equals to left, that is the paragraph tag will be used. And what's the attribute? That is a align. Name of the attribute is align, and the left is the value of the attribute, that is a left. So that is align equals to left, and whatever the content that is available with this one, that it will be shown with the help of the P tag. This is the left align. Then the P tag will be closed. Then P align equals to center, that is the center align. Then the P will be closed. Then align equals to right, this is the right align. Then the P will be closed. So these are the three P's that align in a different manners. That is align equals to left, align equals to right, align equals to center. So there are three parts of this alignment. So three paragraphs aligned in the different parts. That is align equals to left, align equals to center, align equals to right. Right. In the same way, the body will be closed and the HTML will be closed at the end. So this is P is a we can say the attribute. P is a tag, that is a paragraph tag, and the line is the attribute name, and the left or right center are the attribute values. So names and the values concept is clear, I think, to you, Joseph. Yes, Joseph, this program is clear to you. This is the output, this is the left align, this is the center align, this is the right align. Okay, Joseph. Now if I execute this code, if I save, that is align .html, save on the desktop. This is the output that is available, that is the left aligned, center aligned, and the right aligned. So this is available over here, that is this is the left aligned, this is the center aligned, this is the right aligned. So there are three paragraphs that is aligned within the we can say the paragraph. One is the left aligned, that is available at the left. One is the center line, that is available in the center. One is the right aligned, that is available in the right. So there are three parts: left aligned, center aligned, and the right aligned. The same example, right? Now the next attribute, that is an important attribute that we have discussed already, that is a color attribute. The name of the attribute is a color, and what's the value that is available within the color, that is ID, or we can say the title, class type, that is also used with the color, or we can say the core attribute that is used within the color attribute that is used within the HTML document. So the four color attribute that will be used on a maturity of the HTML element, that is not on the out. This is not a color attribute, this is a core attribute that will be used, and the four core attribute that can be used on the maturity of the HTML elements, although not the all, are ID, title, class, style. So these are the four attributes that will be available on the core attributes, or that will be available on the core parts, that is the ID, title, class, and the style. So these are the four attributes. Now this is the ID attribute that will be used within the HTML tag, that is used to uniquely identify. Suppose I want to uniquely identify the ID, or uniquely identify any element, that is done by the ID attributes. So the core attribute contains the following HTML elements. That is, what are the following HTML elements? That is a ID, that is a title, class, and the style. That is the ID attribute. So the ID attribute of an HTML tag can be used to uniquely identify any element within the HTML page. And there are two primary reasons that you might want to use an ID attributes on an element. These are the two main reasons to use the ID. If an element carries an ID attribute or a unique identifier, it is possible to identify just that element and its content. So it is possible to identify the unique identifier, it is possible to identify the element and its content that will be available within the attribute. And if you have two elements of the same name within a web page, so if you have two elements of the same name, so if there are two elements that will be used, that is the ID, that will be a P, that will be a color, the same name attribute or the name will be used within the web page. In this scenario, we can also use the ID attribute, so that we can uniquely identify what are the various values, or we can say what are the various attribute to uniquely identify. For example, I am giving one as a ID as a 1, another ID as a 2, another ID as a 3. So we can identify easily which attribute, which value will be used, but depending on the ID. So if you have two elements of the same name written within the web page, you can use the ID attribute to differentiate between the element that have the same name. And we will discuss the style sheets in the separate tutorial. There are different style sheets that will be available within the separate tutorial. For now, let's use the ID attribute to differentiate between the two paragraph elements as shown below. This is the P, that is a paragraph tag, that ID equals to HTML. So this, now look carefully. There are two lines, and in the two lines we are using the P tags. How will I recognize what is the ID, what is the attribute that is used? So the ID is the HTML for first part of P. Then this says what is written in the paragraph tag, that is this para explain what is HTML. So first ID that has a HTML that explains what is the main part, or this para explains what is the HTML. Then ID or PID is equals to class. Then next P has a ID that is a CSS. This para explain what is a CSS, that is a cascading style sheet, that is also available within the P, that is used within the CSS, that is a cascading style sheets. Then P will be closed. Now the next attribute that is used with the core attribute, that is also used as a core attribute, that is known as the title. Title attribute gives a suggested title for the element, that is what is a suitable title for the element, and the syntax for the title attributes is similar as explains for the ID attribute. The behavior of this attribute depends upon the element that carries it. So it depends on the behavior, what is the, or we can say the what is the attribute that it will be used within the title tag, that is what is the ID name that will be used within the title tag. So behavior of this attribute will depends upon the element that carries it. Although it is often displayed as a tooltip when the cursor comes over the internet. So when the cursor comes over the internet, what is the title that is used, or while the element is the loading, or while the element is in the loading part, that is which title will be used, which content will be used, that is the title attribute. And this is one of the example that is given within the title tag that is used, that is example. This is the tag type HTML, that is the document type is the HTML, then the HTML will be used, head will be used, title will be used. What is the title? That is the title attribute example. Then the head will be closed, then body will be used. Now use the h3. What is the title of this h3? That is the hello HTML title heading tag example, then the h3 will be closed. Now what is the output? That is the title heading head example. Not try to bring your cursor over the title tag example, and you will see whatever the title you see in your code is coming out as a tool tip of the cursor. Now if I execute this code, for example, if I want to execute this code, that is title dot html, put on the desktop. This is available over here, that is the title dot html. Now look, title heading tag example, this is available over here. This is one of the example that will be used in the title tag. Now the class attribute that is used within the CSS, next attribute is the class attribute that is used within the CSS. Whenever I want to give the style to the sheet, that will be available, that will be done by the class attributes. Now try to bring your cursor whatever the class attribute is used to associate an element for the style sheet and specify the class of an element. So what is the class of an element? That's specified with the style sheets. So class attribute is used to associate an element with the style sheet and specifies the class of the element. That is, what is the class of the element, what is the content of the class, that will be used within the HTML class attribute. And you will learn more about the use of the class attribute that will be used when you learn the CSS, that is a cascading style sheet. So for now you can avoid it. So that is, now it is avoided. That is, whenever you study the CSS, that will be used in the CSS, that is the class attribute for giving the style sheet to the, or styles to the various sheets. This is example, that is the class equals to class name 1, class name 2, class name 3. Then the style attribute that allows you to specify the CSS, that is the next part, that is the class style attribute, that is also used within the CSS, that is the cascading style sheet rule within the statement. That is the doc type HTML, HTML head, title, head will be closed, body will be opened. Then the p style equals to font family. Now this will be given that for the paragraph, the style equals to font family, Arial, color equals to hash FFOO or 0000. Then some text p will be closed. That is, the style is given as a font family, then Arial, then the color that is given as the FF0000, then some text will be given, then the p will be closed, and the body will be closed, HTML will be closed. So this is available within the p tag, that is within the available tag, that is the style attribute will be used. That is the style equals to font family, then Arial, color, these are the various attributes that is will be used within the style attribute. This will produce the following result that will be available, like some text that will be available within the result. At this point of time we are not learning CSS, so just let's proceed without bothering about more CSS. So let's proceed further, not to bother about the CSS. Here you need to understand HTML attribute and how they can be used while formatting the content. So there is no usage of the CSS, or there is no usage of the, there is no, we can say, the requirement of the CSS right now, so you can only consider the HTML, not the CSS. Now next is the internalization attribute, that is these are the three internalization attribute that will be available in this one, and these are the generic attributes. So let's take a break for 5 to 10 minutes, then move to these international attributes. Let's take a break right now, then move to the international attribute. Let's take a break. Yes, Joseph, you want the PDF for this module? Hello? Hello? Joseph, are you able to listen me? You want the PDF of this module? All right. So let's start with the international attribute. That is, what are the international attribute that is available within the HTML. These are the information that is available within the international attribute. So there are three international attributes that will be used, that is used as a, or that will be used, that will be available for the XHTML documents, for the XHTML elements. Now what are the three international attributes that will be used? That is a dir, lang, XML, lang. So these are the three international attributes that will be available within the XHTML, that is extensible markup or extensible HTML. Now, the first is the dir attribute that allows you to indicate to the browser the direction in which your text should flow. That is, the direction in which your text should flow means the direction by which your text goes around. And the dir attribute can take one of the two values as seen in the table. So the name of the attribute is the dir, and the values are of two types, that is the LTR, that is the left to the right, and the right to the left, that is the RTL. So one is from the right to the left to the right, that is default value. One is from the left to right to the left, that is a language that is used for the Hebrew or the Arabic, that are read from the right to the left. This is one of the example, that is a doc type HTML. Then dir equals to right to left, that is a dir attribute is used to indicate in which direction the content will read, that is to read from the right to the left. Then head, then the title, then display the directions, then title will be closed, head will be closed, body will be closed, and this is how a E5 renders right to left directed text. That is how to render the text, how to use the text within the file, that is used with the body tag. So that is the HTML tag, then head tag, then title, then head, then body. And in the HTML, that is in the starting phase, it will give the direction, that is from the right to the left. This will produce the following result, that is from the right to the left. It is going from the right to the left. And when dir is used with the HTML tag, it determines how the text will be presented within the entire document. And when used with another tag, it controls the text direction. So when it is used with the HTML, it will show that is how to present within the entire document, and if it is used with other tags beyond or except the HTML tag, it will show the text direction for just the content of the tag. Now if I use this one, that is this is the example. Now if I save this file as an attribute, that is attri.html, for example, on the desktop, this is attri.html. This will display how IE renders right to left directed text, that is it will display from the right to the left. Now next is the lang attribute, that is the attribute that will be available, international attribute, that is a lang, and that allows you to indicate the main languages that should be used in the document. But this language was kept in HTML only for the backward compatibility. So it is used to indicate the main language. That is, what is the main language? As the name advises, LANG, that is a language, that is to indicate the main language that is used in the main document or the main file that is used in a document. But this language, this attribute will be used, was kept in HTML only for the backward compatibility. That is, whatever the backward compatibility that will be used within the lang attribute. But this attribute was kept in the HTML only for the backward compatibility with the earlier versions of the HTML. So it is used with the earlier versions of the HTML, and this attribute has been replaced by the XML lang attribute in the new XHTML document. So it is used as a XML lang, that is XML language within the extensible markup language, extensible HTML document. And the values of the lang attribute are ISO 639 standard 2-character language code. So whatever the language, whatever the lang attribute that will be available, that is available is the ISO 639 standard that uses the 2-character language codes, that is a lang attributes. This is the example, that document type is the HTML, then the language that is used is the English, that is the EN, that means the English, and the title that is available, that is the English language page. Then the title will be closed, then the head will be closed, then the body will be opened, that this page is using the English language. That is the next part, that page is using the English language. then the body will be closed and the HTML will be closed. So that is a HTML, that is a language equals to English, then the head, then title will be closed, then the head will be closed, body will be opened, and the body will be available over here, and the body will be closed, HTML will be closed. This is a language that shows the language attribute, that is language equals to English. That is the English language page, then head, then body, then body will be closed. So this is one of the example. In this we are using the English language. Now next is XML lang attribute. That is the next attribute that will be used. That is the XML language used. XML we can say the language that will be used within the HTML. That is XML language. That is the XHTML replacement for the lang attribute. The value of the XML language attribute should be an ISO 639 country code as mentioned in the previous section. This will be available as a ISO 639 country code, that is extensible language that will be used. So if I use a language equals to or language equals to ISO 639, that means we are using the XHTML, that is extensible HTML, that is extensible hypertext markup language. Now next is the generic attributes, that is what are the various generic attributes that will be available within the HTML. So here is a table of some other generic attribute, that is a general attribute. What are the various general attribute that is used within the HTML? So this is a list of some general attribute, some other attribute that will be used that are readily usable with many of the HTML tags, that is known as the generic attributes. So here is a list of some other attributes that are readily usable with many of the other HTML tags. First attribute is the align, and it has a values that will be used right, left and the center. What is the functionality of this attribute? That is horizontally align the text. Align the text means it is either align the text as a right, it is either align the text as a left, either align the text as a center. That is used, that is a three values, that is a three option that will be available within the align attributes, and the function is it is horizontally aligns the text. The next is a v-align that contains three values. There are three options, that is the top, middle and the bottom. That vertically aligns, that means it aligns the text in the column format, that vertically aligns the text within the HTML element. So one is the horizontally aligned text, that is only the align. One is vertically, that is a v-align. Then BG color that contains the option as a numeric, hexadecimal, RGB value, that is the red, green, blue values. That contains or that takes the value as a numeric, hexadecimal or the RGB values. What is the function? That places a background color behind an element. That places a background color. That what is the background color? So what is the background color means? That is a BG color. What is the background color of the web page? That is the BG color equals to red. For example, that means the red color will display of the web page. Then background, that is what is a background, or we can say what if I want the background image of the or background page of the web page as the image of the flower, then I give the background as a background equals to URL. What's the URL? That is a flower URL. For example, my flower photo will be stored at the desktop, so I have to give the URL, that is a uniform resource locator on the for the desktop that is available with the flower, that places a background image behind an element. Now next is the ID, that is a user derived, we have discussed. That is a user derived means whatever the ID that is derived, that is whatever the name. For example, ID is equals to Joseph, ID equals to Harry, any name that we give for our reference, that is a user defined. That names an element for use with cascading style sheets, so that names an element that is used with the CSS. Then class, that is also user defined, that is also with the CSS, that is also depend on the user what the class that has been defined. Then that classifies an element for use with the CSS, that is a cascading style sheets. Then the width, that is also, or that also contains a numeric value, that is width equals to 600. That means width means the margin that the web page takes, that is the width that specifies the width of the table, image, or the table cells. Whatever the content that is used, whatever the scenario that is used, it may be a table, it may be an image, it may be a table cell. So we can use the width, that is width equals to 600, width equals to 50%, width equals to 40%. So whatever the width that is used, that contains a numeric value that specifies the width of the tables, images, or the table cells. The next is the height, that is the next part, that is height that also takes the numeric value that specifies the height of the tables, images, or the table cells. That is the height. For example, if I give the height as a 600, that takes the 600 pixels, that is the height of the web page. And if I give the height as a 20%, that takes the 20% of the height of the web page. That is, height is a margin that is available within the web page, that is the height, that also contains a numeric value. This specifies the height of the tables, images, or the table cells. Then next is the title, that is a user defined, that defines on the user, that is the title, whatever the title that I want to give. So title, that pop up the title of the element, that is whatever the element, whatever the criteria that is used, that pop up the element, that is what is the element that is used within the title tag. Now we will see related examples as we proceed to some other HTML tags. Now next is chapter number 5, that is the HTML formatting. In this we are going to study in the tomorrow's class, that is how to bold the text, how to italic the text, how to underline the text, strike, monotone. So these are the various, we can say, the features formatting that will be used within the HTML. This is a long chapter that I am going to start within the tomorrow's class. That is the HTML formatting, right? That is chapter number 5. So let's stop over here only, and if there is any doubts, any suggestions, you can add the doubts from me. And Joseph, I will share the PDF with you right now. Yeah, hello, how are you, Joseph? And now I will share the PDF. Oh, no, I will share the PDF. Just a minute. Uh, your assessment? Yeah, result, that is fine result, because the scenario is very simple. You are giving the scenarios, you are fulfilling the passing marks, that is a P1 grade and the M1 to the distinction, merit, and the so on. So I have to categorize before. First of all, I have to give all the assignment, that is a computer system assignment and so on. Then I have to analyze all of the content. So your ID is Joseph. This is your ID, Javed Memam. What's it? Okay, DIO. Okay. diodeic@yahoo.com. Okay. HTML tutorial. Yes, there are total 11 students. 11 to 12. Yes. Yes. Pardon? Yeah, there are some students that are punctual, like Larry, Nelda, you. There are some students that are punctual, but some are not. They are only using the smart mode, that is only giving the assignment, only take the PDF and so on. Pardon? No, 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 I don't know. Yes. Richard. Yeah, Richard, sometime he attend the classes. I have sent you the PDF, right? Okay, bye bye.